Alright, good morning. So today I am going to do another Canuary video. This is, if you're unsure of what Canuary is, this is where we are doing some canning of something we have in our home in the month of January, hence the name Canuary, super cute. But full disclosure, I am not part of the Sutton's Days Canuary program, so commenting or liking or whatever this video will not put you in the Sutton's Days drawing. Just I wanted to let you know that. But I am following along and canning some products in January. Good morning, welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. My name is Mickey if this is your first time visiting my channel, and I do a lot of homesteading activities. Most of my videos are about cooking and baking. We do a lot of food preservation, which of course is what Canuary is all about, and we do have some animals. We have chickens, that we have laying hens. We've also done several rounds of meat chickens. We've got some goats, we've got 3 ducks, and we have 1 lone turkey, Valentina. She's the only one who made it through all of the turkeys I tried to raise last year. So I've got some more on order. Hopefully she'll have some friends this coming year. Okay, so today I have 2 bags of these little plums, and I do not know what they're called. I got them from my cousin's, my aunt's house. They had 2 of these trees. They don't know what they are either, but the first bag that I made into jelly last summer, I think it was, they make the most amazing jelly you have ever tasted. So I've had these 2 bags in the freezer, and I'm going to go ahead and get started working on those today. Now the first batch that I did, I went through and pitted every single one of them because I thought that's what I needed to do. And then later I read something that said these small ones, I don't have to worry about cooking them down with the pits in them, and then I can strain all of that out, so I've just got the juice. So first thing I'm going to do is just get these in the pan and get them cooking down. I am going to add just a little bit of water to the bottom so that they don't burn and stick when they first start cooking. And then I'm just going to start my I'm going to start my heat out on kind of a medium-low until these start heating up. And then I'll turn it up a little bit so I can get these all cooked and soft, so that we can run them through a press and get all that yummy juice out. Alrighty, got our plums cooked down. And I am going to run them through the sauce master now. I have my towel hanging down there so I don't hopefully drip all over the floor. Oh shoot, making a mess. Alright, Alright, I'm going to have to move my sauce master because this is not going to work. I might have to do this a different way. Okay, so things got rearranged in the garage and I don't know where the tool is that I need. going to do the best we can with what we've got here. I can't slide this any farther because of the way the corners are cut. I'm going to make a little slide here, so hopefully it runs down into the bowl like I want it to. See that I am going to have to run this through another strainer because it's putting some pulp in here and I only want juice. But this is going to give us our first pass, so whoops. Back up there. Okay, I'm not sure this is actually going to work. This really shouldn't be this much work, and it is. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to try something different. Okay, that did not work. So what I'm going to do is use this potato masher and kind of smash these berries up a little bit, these plums. And then I'm just going to let them drain through a cloth until all of our juice is in a bowl. And then we'll process our plums jelly from there. So I don't know if there's something going on with my sauce master. I am having a hard time getting the blade part, or the, I don't know what you would call it, the little processing part in the middle. It's not turning right, so I don't know if I've got it stuck or what. But we're gonna do this, and we're gonna make it work. Woo! Okay, so just got a clean towel here. I'm gonna lay it over this bowl, and I'm going to put this, all of this plum juice, pulp, everything into here. And then once I've got it all draining, I'm gonna tie this bag together and I'm gonna hang it from my hook over here and just let it drip until the juice is all out. Because this will keep the pits and the peel and all the extra pulp from getting into our juice, because we just want plain juice for this. So I'm just going to bring up the corners of this and do a little twisty tie on here. want to make sure it's going to hold it securely. Then we're going to slide this under this tripod, and I'm going to, oh, if I can see, there we go. All right, so I've got some string here. I'm gonna tie it around my cloth, and I'm going to use it to, oh my goodness, I'm going to use it to secure this from this on this tripod. And I do have another piece of string. I'm going to tie it again just to make sure it doesn't fall. So there's that one. There we go. So hopefully that doesn't fall, because I'll have a terrible mess if it does. But all I'm going to do is just stop that from flopping around like that. I'm just going to let this drip for several hours until it is, until it's pretty much stopped dripping. I might give it a little squeeze and make sure we can get all of the juice out. And then once I've got all my juice, then I can start making my jelly. So I'm going to start with the juice that I have so far, and I am using a Sure Gel packet, well, several, but I had to hunt for the instructions because my boxes didn't have any instructions in them. So we want, for each recipe, we want 5.5 cups of juice. There's one. All right, there's our 5.5 cups. Okay, and then we want to measure out our sugar into a separate bowl and have it ready, and we need 6.5 cups of sugar. Oh, I just spilled it. Okay, so we want to stir our packet of pectin into our juice. And we want to bring this to a boil and let this pectin dissolve. It is going to look kind of clumpy to begin with. Let me see if I can get you actually in close enough to see this. I'm not sure how well you can tell, but it is a little clumpy when you first start. But that, as your juice comes to a boil, it will start breaking up. So you can add butter. You can add about a tablespoon of butter to help stop it from boiling over. And it also helps with the foaming. I'm using a big pot, so it's not going to boil over. But also, I've never really had that much trouble with foaming, and it doesn't really bother me. So I'm just going to leave the butter out. I've got all my jars here. They are clean. Got a lot going on over here on my counter. So we're just going to keep stirring this over the heat, and the pectin is pretty well dissolved now. I have used Pomona's pectin before, and I do really like it, but certain jellies, you have to be really careful when you're using Pomona's pectin because it's easy to overdo it, I guess, and then the jelly has a really rubbery consistency. But it does work really well so that you don't need to use quite so much sugar. Actually, you use a lot less sugar when you use Pomona's, but today I'm using the Sure Gel. I had a bunch in my cabinet, and so I want to go ahead and use that. So this is starting to see some bubbles on the edges. We just want this up to a full rolling boil. And so a rolling boil means that even when you stir it, you cannot stir it away. And this juice smells so good. We are going to use our steam canner when we get ready to process this jelly. Okay, it's almost there. So you can see that boiling there, and when I stir it, it just continues to boil. So I'm going to get it just a little bit hotter. And then we're going to add our sugar all at once and stir it in until it comes back up to a rolling boil, and then we're going to boil it for 1 minute. All right. There, we've got our sugar. It is dissolving pretty quickly. Alright, so now we're just going to continue stirring this until it comes back up to a boil. When I was getting my jars to prep for this jelly, I used to have tons and tons and tons of jelly jars, and I've used so many of them to make or to hold spices and other things that I'm down to almost none, which is amazing. Now, I do have a ton of jelly in my basement as well, but it was just very strange to go out there and not have a half a tub full of jelly jars. I do have some of the, like a 3/4 pint, the taller jelly jars. I don't really know if they have an actual name of what the size is, but they are a 3/4 pint. So if I need to, I can get some of those. Alright, so it's starting to boil, but we want it to come back up to a boil that we can't stir down. And I realized earlier that I was filming with the TV on in the background, so if it's annoying, I do apologize. Okay, we've got a good solid boil going here, so we're going to let this cook for a minute. Okay, so there's our minute. What did I do with it? Here it is. Alright, so I'm going to turn the heat off, and then I'm going to use my little measuring cup here to just get the jelly, and I need to wait for it to cool just a little bit, or for it to stop bubbling quite so much. Of course, my regular hot pads aren't within reach, so I'll just slide it. There we go. All right, so you can skim down that foam. Like I said, it does not really bother me. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling our jars. We want to fill them to within about 1/8 of an inch. Oops, so that one does need more. We're gonna swap places here. We're just gonna set this pot over here so I can use it when the rest of the juice is done dripping. I'll wipe this off so it doesn't burn on my stove. So we're gonna pour, I can get the jar open, we're gonna pour a little bit of white vinegar in this bowl. And then we're going to use it to clean the rims of our jars out. As always, we're going to use our ForJars canning lids. I do have a discount code if you are interested in any of their products. I will link it down in the description box, but it is Moon10. And that will get you a 10% discount on your order. So I'm going to go ahead, because I've got so much stuff here, I'm going to go ahead and wipe a few and then put the lids and rings on them. Ow, this one doesn't want to, there we go. So we just want them to be finger tight. Oops. You don't want to crank down on them, just like that. And then I'll go ahead and clean a few more so that I have a little bit of room to work here. So I don't want to miss one and have it not seal, because we definitely have a higher chance of having something not seal, ouch, with a jelly because of all the sugar. Dig for some more rings. Clean these last 4 jars. We'll get the lid and the lid and ring on them. Get them in our canner, and then we will start bringing it up to temperature. All right, there we go. Okay, so there we've got all of our jars. So if you have never used a steam canner before, it's very simple. It can be used for anything that is going to can 30 minutes or less, at least this particular one. I do have a friend who shows you how to use a pressure canner and turn it into a steam canner. So I will link, that is Stacy at Farmer's Wife Homestead. So I will link her channel below, and I'll see if I can find one of the videos where she's talking about that in particular, but she's got several videos, I think, on that. Okay, so I've got the burner on high. We are going to watch this little marker here until it gets up into the appropriate heat zone, and then we're going to start our timer. We're going to let it cook for, or let it can for 5 minutes. Then we're going to turn off the heat and we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes before we take anything out of the canner. So while I'm waiting for that to come up to the right temperature, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the jelly that I dripped every place over here, and then we'll be ready to move on in just a few minutes. All right, our temperature control is almost where we need it. Another minute or two, or maybe not even that long. All right, so our 5 minutes of processing time and our 5 minutes of cool down time are all done for this first batch. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab those jars and get them on this towel. Alright, so there's my first set of jars. I am going to go ahead and process this next batch of jelly. Same way, get it out here, and then I'll be back when I'm all done. Alright, so all my jelly's done. I ended up with 20 little half-pint jars. This one was not quite full, so I couldn't can it. I'm going to put that one in our refrigerator. I just put a regular plastic screw cap on there, and we'll just eat that one first. But I've got all of these. I'm going to let them sit on this towel until tomorrow when I get home from work. Then I'm going to mark them with the type and the date and take the rings off, and then I'll take them downstairs to my food storage that I have downstairs. So those will make a great addition to our pantry shelves, and they will last Joe and I quite a while, honestly. But there are lots of things you can use jelly for besides like toast or something like that. You can use them as a sauce on a meat. So peach and plum and flavors like that go really well with pork. So you could use this as a way to flavor up your pork dishes if you wanted. I'm planning to try that with either this one, or I have a bunch of peach that I want to try. But anyway, so I've got those 20, and I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me during this process, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, if you would give it a thumbs up down in the corner there, I would appreciate it. And remember that there's a discount code for the ForJars orders if you're interested, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much.